We knew it was going to happen at some point within the next couple of days, weeks, maybe longer. We weren't sure. But DeAndre Swift has been traded. DeAndre Swift is now a Philadelphia Eagle. And we got to break this down from the Swift perspective, but also the Jahmyr Gibbs perspective, because he instantly climbs everybody's board. A board that everybody had him all over the place on. I don't like Jahmyr Gibbs' landing spot. Detroit doesn't know what they're doing. But now the pathway's been completely opened up. Swift is not going to the moon. Swift's not going to the moon. Swift's in a better position, a better situation. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about him being reborn. But this guy right here, he is headed to the moon.
To the moon.
DeAndre Swift. This is more of a DeAndre Swift live stream than really it is more of a Jahmyr Gibbs live stream than it is a DeAndre Swift live stream. The Jahmyr Gibbs live stream begins right now.
FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? We're back for yet another live stream reaction show on a trade, player movement, the NFL draft, and we're here to talk about this man, Jahmyr Gibbs. We first need to discuss why we're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs even a little more than we have been. Even though people have been doubting this guy, saying, oh, it's cloudy situation, we knew this is going to happen. This is obvious. The moment this team drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, let me show you again, for anybody that has a very short memory as for what actually went down. Like I said, does this sound like a war room? When I played this yesterday and I put it on IG and I showed everybody that was freaking out about Jahmyr Gibbs being in a cloudy situation, I said to you all, does this look like the man? Does that look like a man that is not going to be used by his team? Does that look like a GM? Look at the GM's reaction one more time, because he's absolutely thrilled. That's him in the middle. That's the GM. Look how excited this team is over drafting Jahmyr Gibbs. Does that look like a team that's not going to use Jahmyr Gibbs to the level of some sort of starting elite running back? Does that look like a team? Does this team who drafted him at 12 overall, 12 overall, does that sound like a team that's not going to use Jahmyr Gibbs? The answer, I'll answer it for you. The answer is no, Smitty. That sounds like a Smitty, that sounds like a team that's going to use Jahmyr Gibbs. Correct answer, Bob. This is a team that almost drafted him at number 6 overall. They even said, little birdies have whispered in my ear, Smitty, I heard the Lions were going to draft him at 6, and somehow they convinced themselves as a group to trade down to 12, and they were worried about him being available at 12. And that's why you see the reaction. Thank you, Aloha, dropping a $4.99 super chat. I'll read that 1 second. That's why you see the reaction that you have between the GM and the entire war room, really, just going crazy, because they didn't know that it would play out the way they wanted, where Jahmyr Gibbs would still be available at 12. We all know he would have. They could have traded down to they could have taken him at 18. They didn't. He really wouldn't have went. There's just really no scenario he would have went. But it doesn't matter. They reached for their guy. They got him at 12. They were ecstatic at 12. Does a team that might have taken him at 6, that took him at 12, spent the draft capital of a running back, the second running back off the board that was not Bijan Robinson, and the reaction you saw sound like a team or a war room that isn't going to play this man like he's going to get elite volume? And the answer to that, Smitty, is that sounds like a guy they want to use. That's the correct answer again, Bob. The correct answer again. Anybody saying that right now out loud?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Anybody saying the opposite? Aloha's got a super chat. Super chats get immediate attention. Do I send Walker and Herbert for the 1.3 and 1.7 Dynasty? No. I don't do that because that's probably not I mean, if I know that's Gibbs 100%, maybe we have a conversation. Herbert, I don't know who that is. Is that Khalil Herbert? Is that Justin Herbert? Like, you got to be a little bit more clear on that part, bro. Come back around, possibly pick up Burrow and Bijan. Dynasty startup. The phone line's open, Aloha. You might want to call in on this one because this is a complicated one. Is this a Dynasty startup? What's going on with that? A few weeks ago, I traded the 1.2 for a K9. Look, I'm going to address the K9 situation in a little bit. We're going to do a separate live stream or show on Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet fallout. Aloha, I want to help you. My initial reaction is if that's a 1.2 rookie, 1.3 rookie pick, no. Unless you knew you're getting Gibbs, and if that's not a startup draft, but some sort of like different keeper type of situation, we got to go over that. But if it's a rookie only pick, and if you're getting Gibbs for sure, yes, like if JSN was to go or whatever. But to do that for JSN would be hard. To do that for Flowers would be hard. Gibbs is really the only elite player after Bijan, to be honest with you. Nico says, hey, Smitty, excited for the show. The show's excited for you. Tony Pollard to the moon. Can we get a standing ovation, please? I don't care if you're at home with the kids, the family. I don't care if you're at Target right now, listening to my show in your pocket. You're already standing, so this will work pretty well. Can we get a standing ovation for Tony Pollard, who escaped the NFL draft?
Mashed potatoes!
I mean, honestly, people, we had some wins yesterday. I'm not going to lie. It was a little down last night. I never lie to you guys. I'm very upfront, very honest with you guys. It wasn't just the Charbonnet and Walker situation. I was up for I literally had 4 hours of sleep over the course of 48 hours. So I was sleep deprived. I was not in the best mental state anyway, right? Because I'm my brain starved from oxygen. My eyeballs are starved for oxygen. They're actually white today because I slept. I was not in the best place no matter what the scenario was going to be. But once that Charbonnet Walker thing happened, I ended the live stream. I probably normally would have went live again and wore my body down and just pushed myself to my limit, and it wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have broke or anything. I do this all day. It's like breathing to me. But every once in a while, I hit my limit, and I just need about 10 hours. That's it. I don't go away for a while. I haven't been live for, what time was that I left? I want to say 6 o'clock. It hasn't even been, close to 18 hours that I haven't been live. And people are like, oh my God, I haven't seen Smitty. Smitty, is he okay? If I leave for 10 hours ever, which is a normal live streamer's break, people freak out. And I understand. But I gotta admit, I was a little bit worn down from no sleep, from having that happen, from having to digest all that. I'm still gonna break all the Walker Charbonnet stuff down. I think I'm probably gonna have a little bit more of a positive, still very negative and upset and down perspective for sure. I'm definitely not excited. It's not a good thing. Nothing's great from it, in a general sense. But there are positive ways to break this down, and I'm going to do that. But yeah, yesterday I got worn down into a little nub, and I just needed sleep. I rested up. I slept about 10 hours. I'm good to go for the week now. That'll give me enough energy to do a lot of little sleep, big sleep, little sleep. I'll be fine. That fed me a lot. I traded Walker for London and panicked. I don't think that was a horrible move, and that's what we'll talk about today. That if you're able to do some sort of cross-position trade, it's probably the way to go if you want to get out of the Walker game. And getting out of the Walker game, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's bad. I think that's a great move. I don't think that's a panic move. I think London's going to be top 5 to 7. So trading across position is the way out. It is, and I'll go over that in today's video. There is a way in too. There's a reason to want to get into the Walker and Charbonnet game. It's just a different perspective, and we either adjust and adapt or we die, guys. That's it. That's we could sit here and mourn Charbonnet We could sit here and mourn Walker, or we can recognize what's in front of us. We can adjust and adapt, and we can go win leagues based on the new information. Am I excited about some of the best balls where I've got Charbonnet and Walker? I actually don't mind the two together because I usually have a Kamara or something else that's going to maybe give me a real nice shot that I have that cuff going on that's going to help, salvage any sort of injury that could arise. There are positives to the Charbonnet-Walker situation. There really are. It's just hard to see them from the pathway we took to get Walker, the pathway we've already took to get Charbonnet. But there are positives to the situation if you step back and look at it objectively. If you step back and look at it from a redraft perspective where you haven't drafted either, there are positives. We'll break into that later. We'll do that on another live stream. The Eagles, what did I tell you guys about the Eagles walking into the 2023 NFL draft when everybody said, hey, Smitty, let me pull up the NFL draft. This is the board. Here's the pre-board. Remember this screen? You guys know this screen very, very well. And this is where you heard me say over and over, these Eagle-hating people that are out there hating on the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles have lost everybody. They're falling apart. What do we say here on the show? This number 10, they're going to crush it. This number 30, they're going to crush it. If they don't take Bijan here, and they obviously didn't get him because the Falcons grabbed him at 8 inside Bijan row, which a lot of people told us in January, February, we were crazy when we said he's going to go in the top 10. Not only did he go in the top 10, both Gibbs and Charbonnet went in the top 12. So put some respect on these two running backs' names.
Mashed potatoes.
Okay, so if you remember back, where's my screen? I got rid of it. I have to go search for it again. I think this is it. This is it. Oh, here we go. The fact that this team did what we predicted, if they missed out on the running backs, which they did, okay, 30, they could have got Charbonnet here. They should have. They didn't. They got Swift. They're going to be a scary team. Now, I don't know how much this live stream is about Swift and Gibbs. More so about Gibbs, but Rockout says we need this after Seattle screwed us. Thank you, Rockout. Appreciate you. Swift he's no lock, even if in Philly, but he's reborn. He's got a shot. He's got a shot. He had no shot. He was completely dormant. He was in a coma. He was in a fantasy football coma. He was dead to everybody in Detroit. He was done. The only thing Swift was doing was holding a lot of you back from fully committing to Gibbs. That's what Swift's role was in Detroit. It wasn't a role of I'm going to do well. I'm going to do anything that anybody believes in me. No one believes in me in Detroit. That was Swift. Nobody thought he was going to rise up in Detroit. Nobody. If you did, you didn't know what you were talking about. Okay? You take a lap. But nobody here was thinking, oh, Swift's got a path. Everyone knew he was dormant, dead, gone, left for dead. But even knowing that, you're still worried about this man right here, Jahmyr Gibbs. It's natural. Nobody's taking a lap for worrying, but this was something that was going to get worked out. Now, from a Dynasty perspective, Gibbs goes similar to, good God, it's hard to say this. It's hard to spit these words out. But similar to last year with Walker. Walker, oh God. Kenneth Walker landed in what we thought was a bad situation. And then it just, minutes and minutes go by and we're like, this Walker in Seattle's pretty darn good. Ended up being marvelous. Flip to today, now it's not as marvelous at all. But the point is, Gibbs looked like he was in a horrible situation and things unfold very quickly. Montgomery is no long-term threat to Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, the war room in Detroit, absolutely. Does that look like a war room? Look at that GM in the middle. Look at him. Does that look like a war room that is sitting there going, we're not going to use this guy? We drafted him 12 overall. We would have took him 6, and we just got rid of Swift. Is anybody worried anymore? You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. And I have a mock draft going on here. Let me see if I can find my mock draft. I want to say it's right. Where is it at? Here it is. Here's my mock draft. Gibbs is 2. Clear as day. Number 2 overall. In fact, there's like a tier break between Bijan and Gibbs, tier break. I love Flowers. JSN's very talented. There's definitely a lot of talent going on here, but I don't believe there is a closeness between the guys below Bijan and Gibbs. There's just not. I love Flowers. It's a good spot. JSN's very talented, but he's capped a little bit. I don't understand the Jordan Addison love at all. I like him. I like him. The love, I don't know. The love, I don't know. The love, I don't understand, because he can only become so much in that situation. But I understand it. So I don't even know where to put Charbonnet anymore. The thing, and we'll go over this later, I'm going to redo my mock draft later too. I don't want to do that here. I want to focus on Jahmyr. And I want to focus on Swift on this show, but we will be doing a refresh to this mock draft. I don't know where I'm inserting Charbonnet. I don't know. Monty, running back 1 upside, says Peanut Butter. I don't think so, bro. I think he's got running back 2 potential, but running back 1 upside, I don't feel that way. I think Gibbs is too good. That war room, bro. This war room right here, bro, does not sound like. Look at that guy pound the table. I don't know. Let me slow that down for you. This is in slow motion, okay? Slow motion. Look at him pound the table, bro. Boom, 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 boom. That is not a war room that is gonna make Montgomery a running back 1, in my opinion. Carl, I'm in the middle of something, bro. But I got the phone line on the screen. That's on me. And you know what? Anybody else wants to call in, you call in, because I put the phone line on the screen. But I'm just letting you know, spit out the question. I'm going to hang up on you and answer it. Hit me, Carl. Hit me with it.
All right, hey there. So we literally are starting a 2023 draft right now. And I have 104, and I have a win now team. So with 101 already being Bijan Robinson, who do you think is best for a 12-team Superflex win now team? Do you think I should go with, if I had all these available, should I go Bryce Young, should I go C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, or should I just say screw these quarterbacks and go Jahmyr Gibbs?
Well, look, who are your 2 quarterbacks, bro?
Honestly, Jimmy G, Russell Wilson.
How is that a win now team?
Well, just because of everyone else. I have Cup, I have Henry, I have Brees Hall. Just pretty much everyone else but the quarterback.
I mean, that's rough, bro. Jimmy G, who was the other quarterback? Russell Wilson's okay.
And Brock Purdy, Sam Donald. I mean, I really could use a quarterback. But,
yeah, you might have to go. You might have to go Bryce Young, but I love Gibbs, bro. I love Gibbs. I hate telling you to pass on Gibbs. In general, you should be. I don't know. I mean, it is a Gibbs question. Andy says you killed the live stream momentum. He didn't, though, because this is a Gibbs question, so it's actually a good one. I would say, bro, oh, God, I hate that you got to go quarterback because I love Gibbs. But if you've got Brees Hall, you've got – who else you got? You got Brees Hall?
Brees Hall, Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Christian Watson, Miles Sanders.
Yeah, you got a good enough team. I would do my best to try to get back into that Gibbs pick though somehow. You know, like if you take a quarterback, try and get another pick, trade Miles Sanders, try and get up into that you know, get a Dublé pick going on. Because I want Gibbs bad, but you need a quarterback more than you need anything else. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, bro, but you're gonna have to end up taking what is not, in my opinion, the best player available. Usually you've got to, but you have to fill this in a Superflex. That is the one scenario where you got to lean quarterback more than you want to. It's the one format and the one scenario you almost can't sometimes go best player available. You are essentially, I'm almost always best player available. Best player available for your team is quarterback. It just sucks because my best player available is different than your best player available by a lot here because I don't want to go quarterback here. I want to go Gibbs, but you unfortunately have to go quarterback. All right, call back, Carl. We'll have more to discuss. Appreciate you dialing in. Let's see here. Super chat's coming in. Let's go. Super chat. We've got Rock Out. Thank you for your super chat. Aloha. Thank you for your super chat. Dan says he traded Walker for London. I got all the super chats. Somebody said they just dropped a super chat. Let me see. Dawson dropped one. 3.2. Mooney for Swift in Dynasty. Thoughts? 3.2 and Mooney for Swift. I would take Swift in a heartbeat. And that's coming off of like, you know, a new situation. We're not sure what is in store for Swift. We don't know how much volume he's going to get, but you're giving up Mooney, bro. I like Mooney, but he's a wide receiver 3, 4, 5. Like, we don't even know if he could ever even be a fantasy football wide receiver 3 again. We have to assume he's not going to be. He's a bench wide receiver. Let's call him a wide receiver 4 or 5 at best. I don't know why I even mentioned third. No, he's not a third. He's not even close to a wide receiver 3 yet. So Mooney at 3.2 for Swift. You got to take that. Like, Swift is hands down better, bro. Hands down better. Easy question. Prince from Philly. Real quickly, bro. I got to get... Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, what's up, Smitty? All right, so this is an excellent trade for DeAndre Swift because I have Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Drake London, Darren Waller, Rashad Penny, Brandon Cooks, and Geno Smith. So a guy traded me my first, which was the 8th pick of the round, and my second for the 2nd overall pick. So I took that. So now I'm going to pick up from the Lions. Why am I blanking on his name?
Gibbs.
Yeah. So now it's relatively perfect. I'm going to have Travis Etienne, Swift, Gibbs, and Rashad Penny. So now I'm just looking, since I traded my 2nd rounder, who do you think I should pick up in the 3rd, if anybody?
I mean, it's a loaded question. Who's there? Give me some names.
Rookie draft. All right, so...
Yeah, I mean, it'd be easier if you just say, who do you like better? This. Hang tight while you collect that information here. Let me go over to the 281 area code. 281 area code. What's up, pal? Make it snappy.
Yeah, I have a redraft question.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Make it snappy, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, I just want to know if I win or lost on the trade.
Okay.
I traded a 311 pick and my first, 2nd round, next year's pick for the 201.
You traded a 3rd rounder in this year's draft and next year's 1st rounder?
Yeah.
For a 201?
The first pick, yeah.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
What happened?
Why would you trade a 1st rounder for a 2nd?
No. A 2024 first rounder.
Yeah. Traded a 2024 1st rounder for a 2nd round pick.
For this year's redraft.
Redraft? Like, is it a keeper? Are there a bunch of veterans involved? Or is it a...
Startup draft, my bad.
Okay, startup draft. That big difference. Okay. So 2020, yeah, but you traded a 3rd rounder and a 1st rounder. So you're just trading up from the 3rd round to the 2nd round. What was the 3rd round pick? 3 point what?
3.11. It's like 20 spots up.
That's a big move up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. I'm gonna take back the disapproved. I didn't have the clarity on the question though, but yeah.
It's fine.
I like that because the 2 point. What you're talking about? 13 overall, bro. Right? 13 overall. That is a big move up. I hate getting rid of a 1st rounder, but you better smash so that's a late 1st rounder. Don't give someone the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick or something like that. But you're getting a big move up. I tend to try and keep like my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks when I do stuff like that, but you kind of had to because your 3rd rounder was so far down. Try your best to get back into the 3rd round. Try and trade like a 5th and a 6th for a top of the 3rd or something like that. Try and get back in. Kick the can down the road a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
I like that, bro. I mean, you got 3 picks. Where's your natural? What's your 1st and 2nd round pick? Where are they at?
So 111.
One what?
111.
Okay.
11th pick, the 13th pick, and the 14th pick.
You're gonna get 3 monsters right there, bro. Is it Superflex or 1 QB?
Superflex.
That part sucks though, because now you like where do you get your quarterback? Are you gonna force a quarterback and waste that trade up? That's a tough spot to be in though, because now you're forcing a Watson or you're forcing somebody, and those are I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers at 3 point whatever, and not have lost the first rounder if you end up going quarterback. You're in a bind. If you force quarterback here, you're almost wasting that move up.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
so it's like.
I was
Now you got to try go late QB, and you got to land it though. But if you get 3 awesome monsters like Chase and JJ and I guess Breece Hall, God, Walker would have been one I would have listed off. Breece Hall, Chase, JJ, like something like that, bro. And then you land your quarterbacks later, then you're gonna be living large. But if you moved up from the third round pick, and gave away a 2024 first to just take a quarterback you're forcing at 15 or 14 or whatever. I don't know, bro. All right, hey, I got to let you jump. Call back if you have another question. What was your name, bro?
Martin.
Martin? I'm going to put you in the system, Martin. So that way you have a little bit easier time getting in. Martin, appreciate you, man. Later. All right, going back to, what's his name? Prince from Philly. Do you have your question ready yet?
Yes. So I'm going to pick Gibbs second overall. I did a trade up. I traded my second round pick and my first round, which is 8 overall. I traded those 2 for the second round pick or second overall pick. So I'm going to pick up Gibbs because I have DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. Mm-hmm. And I have ETN from the Jags, right? So for my third round pick, should I take the wide receiver that Green Bay drafted, Jalen Hyatt, or should I take the backup running back, Bigsby, that the Jags taken? Do you think any of them are going to be available?
I mean, Bigsby would be a good pick, but I think maybe you get him later. I think maybe you can slip. He can slip a little bit, or you just trade up and try and get him with another pick. Is Mingo going to be there? I like Mingo.
Probably not.
Okay.
Knowing that they have Bryce Young, yeah.
Yeah, Mingo's not there. I really like him. He reminds me of like
he's probably going to be taken in like the second. Probably.
Little AJ. He's like a little AJ Brown in a way. I don't know. I really like Mingo. I would say Hyatt. I like Hyatt a lot. I don't know that I'm sold on anybody else as much as Hyatt from that location, bro.
Okay, not Reed. I guess they took him in the second round. Green Bay.
I don't like Reed, bro. He was not. I can't believe they didn't take Hyatt. I'm glad because I want Christian Watson to be safe. But I looked at Reed. I looked at Reed well before the draft. Was not impressed.
Okay.
He's okay, but I was not impressed. And so for them to pass on Hyatt for Reed, I don't understand what they're doing. All I know is I'm glad because Hyatt would have been a little bit of a threat to Watson. So Christian Watson to the moon. Christian Watson
to the moon.
Escaped the draft. Not everybody did. You know, Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet. Yeah. There were definitely some people that didn't escape the draft, but Watson and Pollard, those are 2 big ones. Like, you know, we had some losses. Like everybody did. The whole fantasy industry is up in arms about Walker. It's not like we're the only ones. We liked them a little more than the average bear, so it did hit us a little harder. But there were a lot of players that escaped this draft. Okay, Gibbs didn't look like he escaped the draft. Now he looks like he's in one of the most prime positions known to man, and it was little over 24 hours later, or less than 24 hours later, and Gibbs looks like he's going to the moon.
Yeah.
Or a little over 24 hours.
He actually put that trade to me before the draft.
Yeah.
So I guess he didn't know what was going to happen.
All right, bro. Call back a little later. Appreciate you. We got Mike calling in. Mike, quick question, Mike. Make it quick, pal. Appreciate you. Go.
Yeah. So they only got a 4th round pick for Swift. That doesn't seem like a lot. Do you think that's enough? Or did the Eagles get a better deal or the Lions get a better deal?
I mean, I do feel like when you hear 4th round pick, and I have it right here, it was a 4th rounder in 2025. That's probably more the problem I have. Like if it was a 4th rounder this year or a 3rd rounder next year, yeah, 2025 4th rounder seems weird. It does seem like it's I mean, this guy there must be other things going on than just him being injured. There must be some sort of locker room problem. You know what I mean? But it's certainly maybe it needed to happen. I don't care. He's off the team. I really don't care in terms of like, do I think the Eagles the Lions got screwed? The Lions had to get rid of this problem. The Eagles had to take that chance at a fourth rounder in 2025. That was the most ridiculous thing. That was cheap as can be. That was crazy. It's almost one of those things where other teams are looking at each other, and they're looking around. When you're in an auction draft and you don't have any money and you have no control, and you watch other people allow somebody to get somebody very cheap. You're like, what are you doing? I don't have any money. Somebody bid on him. Don't let him get him for $4. Like, I'm sure every team's looking at each other going, why didn't anybody go after Swift for more than a fourth round pick in 2025? Like, that was, you got to think that a bidding war of some sort would have emerged between the Bills, the Eagles, the Bengals, like teams that were contenders. Did really nobody else know that he was going for a 2025 fourth rounder? I agree with you there. I would think that the Bengals would be like 2025 third rounder? Why wouldn't have anybody got in the mix here? I don't know. Or how about a 2025 fourth rounder and sixth rounder? You know what I mean? Like, I would have raised my hand if I was a team saying, how about I give you that same thing, but give you like a later pick on top of it? Like a 20, like a sixth round pick? How about, I don't get it. It's really weird. But it's fantastic news for Gibbs. Gibbs to the moon. Gibbs is in a wonderful long-term situation. And for anybody concerned about Gibbs being in a still cloudy 2023 situation, keep in mind what I'm about to say. We did not want him running the ball between the tackles 18 times a game. This is Alvin Kamara. This is Tony Pollard. Nobody needs or wants Tony Pollard running the ball 18 to 22 times a game. We don't. 18 carry games are definitely a necessity from time to time. No doubt about it. 22 carry game once in a while for sure. Give me that. But you want both Gibbs and Pollard running about 14 to 16 times per game between the tackles. That leaves plenty of room for Monty in an offense in Detroit that's going to run the ball. They're going to pound the rock. There's plenty of room for Monty. In fact, we need Monty. Monty is a good component to this Gibbs situation in 2023. It really is. The only thing we're going to worry about are, Monty's going to get the rushing touchdowns on the goal line. Probably the case. Showtime, appreciate you becoming a member. Probably the case right now. But I don't know that Gibbs was getting a whole bunch of goal line work anyway, people. This is a smaller back that has to bulk up and kind of prove he can be a between the tackle guy. Mike, appreciate you calling in. This is not a situation where this guy was going to get all the goal line work out the gate anyway. Maybe he does eventually get more shifty, kind of crafty goal line work where you're in shotgun and, near the goal, you're in shotgun at like the 6-yard line and you do a draw play to this kid and he just walks right into the end zone. Or you're throwing to him like you would want to, and we hope to God Jacksonville does to ETN. You throw a little pass into the flats, walks right in. Gibbs can score near the goal line. There's no problem. Gibbs' size doesn't make him incapable of being a goal line or goal line-esque type back. He can certainly score. But Monty's not a threat because they play different games. This is what Swift should have been. The receiving component. And so Gibbs will probably have those games where he has 100 total yards on the regular. That's what we want from Gibbs. We don't need this Montgomery role for him to have 100 total yards and let's call it 10 total touchdowns as a rookie. 8 to 10 total touchdowns as a rookie. 100 total yards a game. Eventually he'll get to that stage. 4 to 5, 6 receptions a game. This is a PPR monster. This is Alvin Kamara 2.0. He's in an unbelievable offense. It's going to matriculate the football down the field constantly. They're going to live in the red zone. Red zone equals Gibbs touchdowns. Goal line might not right now, but red zone territory will equal Gibby touchdowns. And so for that, I'm going to play the Gibbs animation video because right now I'm a little too depressed to play the Charbonnet or Kenneth Walker ones. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Schmitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? I am really still a little bit down from the Kamara Charbonnet situation, which I will break down in another live stream. Probably shortly after this. I might take a tiny break, come back and do another live stream on Walker and Charbonnet and break that down. It'll be more of a negative live stream, but with some upbeat, angles to it, because I am not going to take it the way you guys are thinking I'm probably going to take it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not here to try and make everybody feel all good and tell campfire stories about Charbonnet and Walker and how they saved the planet. I'm here to hit you with the truth. And the bottom line is there is some silver lining to it. There is some good angles to this thing, but not necessarily from the past. The blunt, honest truth is that Charbonnet and Walker, if you own them already, Charbonnet and Walker, if you've drafted them in best ball already, their situations are not very good comparatively to what the cost of entry was. And that sucks. But for a lot of us, for almost every single one of us, we still play in redraft. We still have dynasty startups that have not yet taken place. This is not a world where Walker and Charbonnet have already been seeded in their place in our life in every single draft that we're in. We need to move on and adapt, and there is a way to win using their newfound values. And we're going to break that down in tremendous detail on the next live stream today on Walker and Charbonnet. This is about Gibbs. This is about Swift. We haven't touched on Swift too much in terms of how we view this guy. I looked at the screen like 3 times, shook my eyes. I did too. Go watch my reaction. My soul left my body. A lot of people sent me a screenshot of myself. Multiple people did and said, look, your soul left your body, Smitty. Let me see if I can show you one of them. Like right here. Here's me glancing. This is from my boy Ben. Me glancing. My soul left my body. I sat there for about, 2 minutes silent when it happened. But we'll get to that. DeAndre Swift, what's his value? Where do you take him in a draft? I don't know yet. I know he's a wide receiver. Hopefully he plays wide receiver. He's a running back 3, a flex option potentially. We'll have to kind of see where he shakes out in a draft in terms of like, do you buy him as a high-end running back 3 or flex? Do you buy him as a very low end? Can you get him even later than that? I don't think so, but we'll have to play it out and see. I think the door is open for him. I don't believe in Penny. I don't think this running back room is dangerously crowded for him. This is not Detroit. He's going to have a pretty easy path, I believe, to get into a starting job if he doesn't get handed half of that job to begin with. I'm pretty excited about what avenues this trade opens up. We were hoping that this was going to happen with Charbonnet after he was drafted. We see one of those rare drafting trades, where Pete Carroll was trying to maneuver in the draft and he thought, okay, I'm gonna grab this kid and trade him to Chicago. That didn't happen. So we got to adjust and adapt on that. As far as looking at the running back room in Philly, it's not a scary one. It is. This one can easily be overtaken by Swift. You have the following RBs. Let me put this on screen so that you guys can follow along. This is the RB room in Philly, and it's not a complex one. It's not an RB room that should have any Swift owner scared that he can't climb up and become the starter. It's DeAndre Swift atop the depth chart already. Rashad Penny, who cannot stay healthy. Boston Scott, he gets passed over every year. Gainwell, very talented, but neither of those guys, Trey Sermon as well, nobody on this roster is better than DeAndre Swift. Nobody on this roster has more upside than DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, if you remember back just a little while ago, less than a year ago, this guy was everyone's top 12, top 14 overall player. It's very easy to let disappointment flood in and taint the value of a player like Swift. Just completely muddy up your thinking, and then you're just like, this guy's garbage. He's garbage. He's not garbage. He's very injury prone. And I don't know if he'll stay healthy. I have no idea. But I also felt like that Detroit did misuse him. I felt like when he was back and ready to go, they didn't want to use him. And I don't know if he had some kind of like quiet underlying injury, and that's why they couldn't use him. And maybe he was complaining, and they're like, this guy doesn't even want to go on the field. We don't know. We don't know what was really going on. But all I do know is that he deserves another shot. All I do know is that his running back room is weak as can be, and he can come in and snag this starting job just walking in the door. As you can see, he's atop the depth chart already. Everyone listing off the depth chart, he is first. He's the first running back listed. He has an opportunity to become an elite fantasy football flex option in 2023. Plain and simple. Swift could become an elite fantasy football flex with upside for more easily. Easily. He could also fall flat on his face and get injured. So you have to, cost of entry is important. But this was an easy move for the Eagles to make. Should the Eagles have tried to go after Henry? I believe so. Was he available? Maybe they've tried. Should the Eagles have gone after Austin Eckler? Absolutely. Maybe they tried. It's possible they tried. Travis, you're live. I'm taking short phone calls only. Travis, hit your question out, and then I'm going to hang up and answer it. Go.
No, it's not even a question. I wanted to call. Somehow I hit something, and it says I hit Steve Ferguson. I did not mean to do that. I don't even know how it happened. Can you fix that?
You hit Steve Ferguson.
I'm missing out.
Yeah, I'll go look for it. Steve Ferguson. Does anybody know what happened to Hod? Hod says he was hidden by somebody. And I can't.
Yeah, I heard you saying that the other day too. But
yeah,
I don't know if my hand hit it.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate you telling me. Like, I have no problem with you. Like, look, you're doing a lot, bro. The fact that you're telling me is amazing because, you know, most people would just be like, oops, and then not say anything because they're afraid I'm going to get mad or something. But, like, you need to let me know, like, you did. Okay, so hold on. So this is one of our amazing mods. You're seeing a natural, amazing moment here where your mod's saying, I made a mistake. I accidentally hid Steve Ferguson. I'm looking for Stevie boy. Stevie, where are you? Stevie, hang tight. Stevie, we're coming. I'm looking for him. I can't. Steve Ferguson? Sounds like a talk show host.
I don't know.
I'll have to.
Out of my pocket. I must not have closed it or something.
Yeah. Steve Ferguson. There he is. Steve's back. You got him back. Steve, you're back, buddy. You're back, buddy.
It usually lets me undo that, but for some reason I couldn't click on it there.
And now all I gotta do is find Hod Prime. I don't know why he's been hidden, but he's been hidden. I mean, he sometimes he does, you know, say things, but like nothing that we want to kick him off the show for. But I don't know if one of my mods was like, "Hey, he said something negative." And so my mods are always pretty good, as you can tell. My mod right here made a mistake, and he called in and said, "Let's fix this." So we did. I don't know. I don't see Hod hidden though. I feel like Hod just doesn't know how to sign into his own account or something. Because I feel like I've looked before and I haven't seen Hod Prime blocked or anything. So I don't know, Hod, what's going on, pal. All right, appreciate you, Travis. Real quickly, what do you think of DeAndre Swift?
I mean, it's a good landing spot for him, and especially really no risk to the Eagles. So I think I don't know. I was hearing something about the Lions were saying he wasn't hitting the right hold even in practice and stuff, but who knows if that's smoke or not. Or
yeah, you got to wonder if they would even say something like that. I highly doubt they. Hot up looked. I don't see you blocked, bro. You might want to just try and sign in. All right, thank you, Travis. Appreciate you calling in and fixing that. Later, pal.
No problem. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. Iron Never Lies just became a YouTube exclusive member.
To the moon.
Anybody else who wants to become a YouTube exclusive member, all you have to do is get on over to this link right here. This right here. I'm going to pin that link in the live chat. This is the, let me go ahead and click on this. This is the YouTube exclusive membership right here that I'm pinning. And you get the green names, all the emojis. The gentleman you just saw, Iron, got that right now. Iron, drop some new emojis if you wouldn't mind. All right, guys, appreciate you.
Johnson, why are you naked?
What? That ad. Johnson, why are you naked? What is that? Clothing apparel? Give the Eagles depth at running back. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Eagles needed it. I don't know why they didn't draft a Charbonnet, though. That's the part that bothers me the most. You get messages, Smitty, glad you're live. You get my messages, Smitty, glad you're live. What messages are you talking about, Nick? I got 1,000 messages. What are you talking about? Dial into the show, Nick, real quick. I don't know what you mean. Bella, check yourself. Just became a member. Nice job, Bella. Check yourself. To the moon. I'll give up the 4th and 7th for Swift and a 7th every day of the week, says Breaks. Go buy Swift on the low. Go buy Swift on the low. Smitty is back. The thing is, I wasn't even gone. Like, that's so funny. People are like, oh my God, Smitty, where you been? Like, it's been... I left the live stream at like, what, 7 p.m. Or no, 7, 8. Like 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And it's like noon my time. Swift will have new TD Vulture. A new TD Vulture named Jalen Hurts. That's okay, bro. That's okay. Ryan says I missed his super yesterday. Ryan, hit me with your question again and I will answer. I'm sorry if I missed it. There was a lot going on yesterday. Smitty, do you like Miami Mike's new running back? I do. A-Chain's a good RB. We'll break that down. We'll break down all the landing spots, what players increased in value, what players didn't increase in value. We're going to get to all that. Don't worry. Swift is garbage. Keep dreaming and making excuses. Ron Navy says, Ronnie's a pretty cheap guy, so I don't know that there's that big of a concern. If he fails or falters, he's still going to be very cheap. But anybody that has him has newfound value and should be excited that he's not dead on the Detroit Lions roster. So maybe he's still got a bunch of risk, but I mean, no one's saying he's a top 10 running back, you know. We're saying that this guy now becomes flex relevant again, which is great for anybody that already owns him. I've been a member, just re-signed up. Appreciate you, Bella. Check yourself for re-upping. And I think it did it automatically, and it might have just reminded the audience, which is awesome. So appreciate you re-upping. Too many weapons in the Eagles backfield plus plenty of backs. I don't think this plenty of backs list right here qualifies as a danger if Swift can stay healthy. He's already atop the list. Penny ain't staying healthy. Yeah, there you have it. Swift being revitalized, to what degree we don't know. Can he even stay healthy? Will he even, is there some kind of underlying situation that made this guy garbage for a reason? You know, is he garbage for a reason? Did he absolutely crap the bed in more than just one way in Detroit that we'll soon find out about, which makes them, you know, very eager to get rid of him? He isn't worth the roster spot. There's better. I'd say that's a stretch, Ron. He's potentially a starting running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's worth the roster spot. But I get your hesitancy, Ron, for sure. But he is worth rostering. If he's available and you don't pick him up in your league, let me know. Let me know. I will join that league immediately just to scoop him up. He's worth grabbing, Ron. But I agree, Ron, there's a lot of concern. Damn, Sanders had 1,200 yards, says Jimmy. Chase Brown to the Bengals. Yeah, that's a great landing spot. We're gonna talk about all of those those running backs and wide receivers in the draft. Not so many wide receivers, but the running backs that maybe have some newfound value. Hyatt to New York. The Giants was a fantastic landing spot. We'll see. A lot of good happened. I know it got overshadowed by the Charbonnet Walker stuff, but a lot of good happened. Tony Pollard escaped the NFL draft. Gibbs became a top 20 overall pick top 15 overall pick in Dynasty, maybe. Maybe higher, possible. Brown to Cincinnati is fantastic, Ron. It's amazing. Thomas says Hawks over the Eagles. Hawks Charbonnet to Eagles. Wouldn't that be amazing if they traded him? They won't, though. They won't. We'll go over all that. It's going to be a little bit more of a downer live stream, but again, I'm hitting it from a positive angle. I'm not here to mourn or hang on to the outlook we had before the NFL draft. It's a adjust and adapt season. It always is on this channel. We got to adjust and adapt. There are ways to win and smash with Walker and Charbonnet. We got to look at the new ways. We can't keep looking at the old. Do I have to super chat? No, Ryan, just ask your question again and I'll answer it real quick before I leave. Appreciate everybody dropping those supers. Caden dropping one. Chase Brown to Cincy. Top 20 running back. It could be, bro. Chase Brown is a really, really solid running back. And he's got a lot of upside. He might have cracked the top 12. Here's the mock draft that I had going on here. Where is this? I think it's right here. Here's the mock draft. We have Charbonnet leaving the top 10. Maybe he jumps back into, I don't know where yet. Give me a moment to digest that. But Chase Brown might be inside. Where inside this top 6 to 10? You'll find out from my mock draft video. But Chase Brown to Cincy is huge. It's huge. He's a good running back. He's a crafty, under-the-radar running back that didn't feel like he was going to hold a lot of high draft capital, and he didn't necessarily, but he landed in an amazing spot, a crafty spot. Chase Brown is really solid. Really, really, really solid. So get ready for that video. That'll be coming soon. But next, I'm going to take a break, come back. Next will be the Walker and Charbonnet reaction video and what to do moving forward. So hit me back in about, I don't know if I'm going to be back in less than an hour. I'll put it on my Instagram when I'm going live. So if you're not following me on Instagram at the Fantasy Football Show, you're missing out, because that's where you can 100% get all my notifications as well. So have your notifications turned on YouTube. They tend to not give you the second notification after you've already received one for the day. I don't know why. They just think you don't want to be notified too many times. You'll turn off your notifications. So they make that decision for themselves, and that sucks. But if you are subscribed to me on YouTube, or if you go to YouTube and you hit follow, but at the top you'll see a bell notification. Turn on all your notifications for me on my profile, and that way you don't miss a chance. Or if you're just following my stories and you have my notifications turned on, you'll get alerted whenever I do a story post and I say, hey, I'm going live, guys. I'll see you on YouTube. But anyways, I feel, let me see if Ryan, I said Snyder would have liked to draft Hendon. Ryan dropping a little humor. Ryan, was that what you super chatted? I appreciate you dropping that. I'm very, very sorry I missed it. Thoughts on Roschon Johnson to the Bears? Roschon's pretty good. I like him. He's a talent. I'm not a huge fan of Spears. I think Spears doesn't have an ACL. So that guy's a walking injury. I'm not going after Spears at all. Break says, why are you trolling so hard? Who's trolling hard? Bucks. Who's trolling hard? What are you talking about? Chase Brown to the Bengals, replacing Mixon, might be a moon man this year. Hang tight. He might be. You might see Chase Brown crack the moon man list. We need to replace some people. So I don't know that you'll see Walker fall off the moon man list. He's going to be, maybe we take him off and maybe we re-add him from a different angle, just to officially make sure we're talking about it from a different angle. Chase Brown definitely in the mix for a Moon Man spot. We've got an opening or two. We took
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
It's not that I even want to take him off necessarily because he's still got that value. We'll see if he ends up like just falling down here, going to the Satellite Men list, or if we look at him as a win-a-league potential player that's almost free. You know, kind of like Madison from years past, or any other Moon Man that's been a handcuff giant. Charbonnet still has that value. It's just a weird, value. And Walker, I don't think I'm taking Walker off of the Moon Man list. Walker may just be redefined because he can win a league now. It's a new angle. You got to look at the angle differently. Okay, appreciate you all. Smitty's right though. Walker is a Moon Man, but different context now. Definitely, if you drafted him before the NFL draft, you overpaid, unfortunately. But there's no way that you could have known that. There's no way anybody could have known that. So we'll be back to talk about Walker and Charbonnet. I will see you all in a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs, baby. Jahmyr Gibbs to the moon. Jahmyr Gibbs to the moon. I'm going to send him to the moon one more time.
To the moon.
I'm going to send all you to the moon one more time.
To the moon.
You are all Smitty approved in my book.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I will see you all in just a little bit. Please stay very close to your phone, your YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel. Please stay very, very close to your YouTube app. We will be going live very, very soon. Young dropping a super on the way out the door. Young says, bro, did Sean Tucker not get drafted? Sean Tucker has some medical issues, bro, and there's some thought that he may never play again. He wasn't cleared to even do workouts or anything, so nobody's going near him. I'll break that down in a little later. But yeah, Sean Tucker fell off the face of the earth because there's some sort of medical heart. We believe it's a heart condition. Just getting hit left and right. Boom, boom, boom. Justin Adapt. Bob and weave. Bob and weave. That's how we do it. Bob and weave. Oh, Tank Dell. Love him. He landed in a great spot. Love Tank Dell. Tank Dell's the man. Gibbs to the moon, pals. Gibbs to the moon. Get you some Gibbs shares because the stock is going up. Swift stock is going up. Whether you like him or not, his stock went up. You could sell. For people like Ron Navy that hate Swift, at least his stock went up so you can sell. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, Ron. I know you just want to say how negative he is, and that's fine. But Ron, look at it from the positive perspective. If you somehow own him, you can sell him. I don't know if you own him anywhere because you hated him, but other people have him and they're like, now I can get rid of him. So there is context here to really, really like this from 100 different angles, even if your angle is to get out of the Swift game. If your angle is to get out of the Swift game, now you finally have your opportunity because he is going to be listed as the starting running back on this Philadelphia Eagle team. And that is something. That is something. That is something. Hendon Hooker to the Lions. That was kind of something we thought could happen. Like a bunch of different landing spots you had when we had the old NFL draft board. Where is that? Where is that draft board? I think it's right here. When we talked about, Lions potentially getting him. That would be great. Hendon Hooker. We thought he could go in this early 7 to 21 range. Washington. We wanted Washington to get him. Detroit at 18. That was a good spot for Hendon Hooker. We also thought it would be very, very, very smart for the Seattle Seahawks to get him at 20. And he just kept falling and falling and falling because we wanted Dino Smith to be safeguarded. But the Lions are a great place because they got a lot of fantasy football assets on that team that are now safeguarded a little bit in case Goff doesn't work out. So love the landing spot of Hendon Hooker. There was a lot of good that happened, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of good that happened in this NFL draft. A lot of good. A lot of good. A lot of bad, too. Like the Jimmy G getting his paws on Mayer. I don't know what Mayer's going to do in Las Vegas. That wasn't a great landing spot. It wasn't. It wasn't a great landing spot at all. It wasn't. It wasn't. But you know who did land in a good spot? Jahmyr Gibbs. You know who's on his way to becoming a top 15 overall Dynasty player or higher? Jahmyr Gibbs. So, some positives. Appreciate you all. I will see you all later. Lions got smart move. Unload Swift. Yep. It was a great move by Detroit. It had to be done. Patriots have to run for 400 yards per game to win every game 14-7. Ron says Najee's going to explode. I think Najee's going to have a nice little bounce back year. He's got some proving to do, but I think he's set up pretty nicely to prove it. So, especially if he stays in the 3rd, 4th round territory, that's fantastic. Gibbs to the moon. Attaboy. Space Ricky. Smitty. Dameon Pierce survived the NFL draft so far. Moon Man, maybe. I mean, definitely send him to the moon in general. You know, loosely based, go to the moon. You know, but on the Moon Man list, we'll find out. But definitely he survived. Tony Pollard survived. 25 4th, dang, got nothing. Yeah, that was a fantastic. I'm surprised another team didn't say, hey, we'll give you a 24 4th rounder. Like, there's just no bidding whatsoever. Nobody goes after RBs and trades. Nobody goes after RBs and trades. Nobody. Ramondre still safe in New England? Absolutely. Najee will never explode, but he'll settle nicely into 6 and 10 spot. I mean, 6 would be great, though. I mean, that 6 to 10 would be a good RB. That's a fantastic RB. So I would say if your definition of exploding is being top 5, then, you know, he could be top 5, but like 6 to 10 is a great running back. And at 3rd, 4th round value, it's pretty good. What are the Bengals going to do? What do you mean, Love Stars? They got Chase Brown. What do you think they're gonna do? Rashad White, safe. Another one.
To the moon.
I'll be back. Detroit. You know what Detroit did? They got him.
Got him.
I'll be back in, I don't know, a little less than an hour to do another live stream, ladies and gentlemen, on the Seattle running back situation. Appreciate you all. Get Jahmyr Gibbs. Go get him. Get Jahmyr'd. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Schmitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? No. Paul says you're not leaving yet. I'm $20 super chatting real quick, Paul. Paul dropping it. Paul's question says, Smitty, I agree with Ron, don't trust Swift. Thanks for all the great conversation this weekend. And no one's saying to trust Swift, guys. I think what Ron's saying, there's some legitimacy to, hey, let's doubt this guy. But what I'm saying is, he is the Philadelphia Eagles starting running back. So if you owned him, I mean, listen clearly to what I'm saying. If you owned him, and I'm not talking to you, Paul. I'm talking to anybody here that doesn't understand my context. If you own DeAndre Swift, congratulations.
To the moon.
You just got a potential lifeline. Okay, so that is an amazing thing for you if you have Swift and you've been sitting on Swift. Now you can either trade him away, which is an advisable option because there's a lot of risk involved. So you trade Swift away, or you can sit there and potentially roll the dice, play with the house's money, and see if Swift can do something in this Philadelphia Eagle offense, which there's certainly that possibility. So I feel like I feel like anybody that thinks that Swift is in a garbage situation, they're just against Swift. And I'm not saying that's what Ron's necessarily saying. I know Ron hates him, but Swift is in a good spot. Whether Swift can stay healthy or not, that's a whole nother conversation, and I'm not banking on that by any means. But if I own Swift, I'm excited today. I don't really own him anywhere. But if I've drafted him in best ball, I'm excited today because he has moved into a very, very good location. He just has to stay healthy, which is a tall order. But Swift's value exponentially grew today. And in return, which is absolutely amazing, Gibbs' value shot through the roof.
To the moon.
Absolutely shot through the roof. I mean, we're talking monstrous value climb. And so this all around is good. There's nothing negative about Swift going to Philly. There's nothing negative about Swift going to Philly for Gibbs. It's good all around. It's just a matter of, does anybody want to invest in Swift now? Like, I understand that. I think that's where Ron's probably coming from. Ron, you're very, very hell-bent against Swift. But I understand where Ron's coming from of, at this moment in time, he doesn't want to touch Swift. But there's more people out there than those people, Ron. There's people out there that own Swift currently. And those people should be excited and celebrating because now they have two options. They can either ride or die and hope that Swift doesn't crap out on them, which there's a pretty decent chance he will. But you also have a newfound trade value, and that's a good thing. So congratulations to everybody that now has something instead of nothing because you just had nothing. Swift was good as done. He was in a fantasy football coma. He wasn't breathing. Now he is going to rise. Whether he falls again, that's on you if you're going to invest in him. That's on you if you're not going to trade him. I will see you all later. Ron, real quick, I have to jump. Hit me real quick.
In my opinion, this is only my opinion, but I mean, you said you could get Swift cheap. I can get Gainwell and Scott
Ron,
a lot easier,
Ron,
better value.
Ron.
That's my opinion. My opinion. I'm going to take those two running backs because Swift and Penny won't even finish the season.
I know, but Ron,
Ron.
This is not just about that. It's about trading him away if you own him. Like that's you're narrow focused on it. Yeah, but
I understand that point. If you have him, you trade him away. I understand
it's great.
that. But if I'm drafting, what I'm saying is I think I'm gonna get better value in Gainwell and Scott, waiting for Penny and Swift to be injured. I think they have a bigger upside.
Let's say Swift is going around a player that you like better, of course. Like don't go drafting Swift if you don't believe in him. But there is a world where, and that's all we're doing is celebrating that side of it. And I know you know that.
I'm gonna hedge my bet on Gainwell. I'll draft Gainwell before Swift, and I'll draft Scott before Swift because I'm hedging my bet that's
where I think that's where I think you're letting your Swift hatred just kind of have you come and saying a bold statement. You're gonna draft Gainwell over Swift.
I mean,
you can't draft Gainwell over Swift,
obviously, because you believed in Swift 2 years ago, and he was a bust. He got injured. You believed in Swift all last year, and he was a disappointment.
Liking Gainwell liking Gainwell over Swift is understandable from cost of entry. But you're telling me you would actually draft Gainwell over Swift?
Yeah, because they're both going to drop, and I can get better value drafting Gainwell. And I believe in Gainwell. Gainwell is a
side
very
by side.
productive back.
What I'm asking is side by side. Swift and Gainwell, you're on the clock. You're telling me you draft Gainwell in place of Swift, or you're just saying you won't draft Swift and you'll draft Gainwell a lot later?
I won't draft Swift, and I'll draft Gainwell a lot later.
Okay, because the way you're wording it was like you would draft Gainwell over Swift, and I'm like,
I can get better value drafting Gainwell because I think Gainwell. I think Swift won't make it through the season, and I can get entry cost.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that take.
So that's all I got to say.
All right, Ron. Appreciate you. Later.
All right.
Paul drop another super chat. Gainwell to the moon. How this news isn't good for Gainwell. Swift heading over, but
To the moon.
we'll give him a moonshot. We'll give him a moonshot for you. But Gainwell definitely took a hit today. There's no good that came out of that. Appreciate your $20 hauler. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you, Paul. Paul's the man. Paul to the moon.
To the moon.
Now I'm out of here. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate your super chats, pal. Sandu says, I only got 20 minutes to do this. 1.7 and George Pickens and a 25-second. The top 4 wide receivers are gonna... What does that mean, bro? There's no trade in there. Is this it? You're making me go search for the Sandu. Put it all in one question, Sandu. 1.7 or George Pickens and a 25-second. Give me George Pickens. Later, everybody. Appreciate you. See you all in a little bit.